Hello and welcome to Life with Jane on what has been a freezing cold week last week. And I'm in the southeast of England, so it's been far warmer down in the southeast than it has been in the Midlands and in Scotland. Scotland went down to -16. We had in the southeast, or where I am, it went down to -6, which again is very cold. I did a walk, as you saw, which was quite fun. I'm up in the park every single day walking my dog. I walk my dog first thing. I get up, put my coat and hat and warm things on, and take her out for a walk first thing in the morning for about half an hour, 40 minutes. And it's such a beautiful place. It really is. The park is just, it's wonderful. If you've seen, I've done a few shorts, and I'm not sure whether everybody can see shorts, but I've done a couple of shorts of sunrises, because it happens to be at the moment that sunrise is around 7:15, 7 in the morning. It's getting earlier and earlier, so I'm up in the park for just gone 7 o'clock. So I get to see the sunrise most mornings. But sometimes you can go a week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks without even seeing a sunrise. December, there were very few sunrises because it was so damp and wet, and this morning it was just damp and dark and not very nice at all. It wasn't raining, but again, there was no sunrise to be seen. So it's quite special when I show you a sunrise, because they can be absolutely spectacular. I don't get them in the evening because I tend to walk earlier before sunset, because I don't like walking in the evening in the dark, which is quite funny. I don't mind walking first thing in the morning because there's very few people up, but in the evening there's people walking home from work, and I'm not as comfortable walking in the dark in the evening as I am first thing in the morning. Funny thing, but that's just me. So if you remember, a week or so ago I showed you the haul from Lidl and the wool and the sale things that I got. Well, I showed you this lovely green tweed effect wool, which was a thick chunky wool, which meant it was super quick and super easy to make a jumper. And I said I would show you. Well, you can probably just see the top of it. So I'm just going to push the chair back a bit so you can actually see. And that is the crochet jumper that I've finished. It's got lovely cuffs on the sleeves, and the nice thing is I have fairly, this is me holding my arm out, I have fairly short arms, so I find that if I buy jumpers I have to roll them up all the time, but I like a cuff around my sleeve because it keeps my wrists warm. So this one has got a lovely cuff round it, which, as I say, all crocheted, very simple stitch. I've got a rib across around the bottom, rib round the sleeve, and just a little bit around the neckline. And it took me, how many days did it take me? Probably 4 days, I think, because it would have been a day for the front, a day for the back, and then probably a day for the sleeves, and then sewing it all together, maybe 5 days. And all I do is in the evening when I'm watching the television, I will turn around and just sit and crochet. I like to do something, and it's one of those things in the winter time when it's cold and you can't get outside in the garden as much because there's nothing really to do in the garden because it's all covered under frost and cold or wet and damp. So until sort of February time, when I start getting into the greenhouse preparing seeds and things like that, the winter months can be quite finding things to do. And I find that crocheting or doing something with my hands, keeps my hands warm and active. As you know, I've got slightly arthritic hands coming now, so it makes it quite difficult sometimes to do the work and stuff that you would like to do without keeping them sort of active. And I find that I can get cramp in my hands sometimes. So I find that if I'm doing something like crocheting, keeping my fingers busy, I don't tend to get cramp as much. I never get cramp in the summer. I only get it in the cold, in the winter. And it's because my hands get cold. And I'm somebody who, I have my heating on. You know, I don't have it on boiling. I have it on at 18 degrees and it's on for a few hours in the morning. And then normally I'm out and about. I as you know, I work at the local charity shop. I go to a craft cafe once a week. So I'm out 3 or 4 times a week. And when I'm in, which is in the evening, so from about 4 o'clock onwards, the heating kicks on again until about 9:30, 9:45, because I'm normally in bed by 11 o'clock. So, you know, I do have my heating on. I do have it at 18, which is comfortable. I have big curtains and things up. So I have curtains across some of the doors and curtains across my patio doors and things, which keep things warm. But I still find that my hands get cold. I don't carry a huge amount of body fat, which means that I do suffer from the cold, but it keeps me healthy. You know, I'm somebody who always turns around and says that if you can keep your weight as low as you can, healthily, not, you know, losing weight and doing it importantly, but eating sensibly, eating a good healthy diet, and trying to not just put on empty calories, as it were. It means that your body doesn't have to carry around quite as much, which means that it keeps you healthier. The only thing is that you do tend to suffer from the cold, but that's a small price to pay, I think. I'm hoping to be able to be fit and active for as long as possible, and I find that if I don't carry too much weight, it means that I'm able to walk better and I'm not carrying around as much body weight or body fat on me, which keeps everything lean and in good, healthy condition. So that's what I think it is anyway. So that was the wool. However, I have, and I'm going to show you, I bought in my big basket, which I'm just going to stick on. I have this beautiful, let me show you. I have this beautiful basket that was actually, I inherited it from, I was given it by my father. They used to live in America for probably 40 years. And so when they came over, they brought all their stuff and put it into storage and then didn't need it all. So I was lucky to have some pieces. So this is one of the pieces. So that's the wool, which is rather nice. Again, it's a sort of a mottly colour. I do like mottled colours. And I am making, again, a jumper. I've just finished the back of it. Same sort of styling and patterning, because I quite like that sort of look, but obviously it's on a lot smaller needles because it's double knitting wool. So that's going to be either the front or the back. And so that's one that was from the department store in Farnham. And a shout out to Anne, who comes and watches quite often, who I actually met in the charity shop and told her about my channel, and now she's an avid watcher, which is lovely. And she actually went into the department store to buy some fabric and things after seeing my my video. So it just shows that it does work, and I'm very pleased. And it was lovely to see you. So hi, Anne. Now, so this is the bag. You can probably see where the name of the department store. So there we go. And they were still doing some sales. I think they're going to have what they call the Blue Cross, which is an extra 20% off. And that will be starting towards the end of January. So in next week, maybe the week after, and it's normally on for a week, so that will be quite good. Okay, so let me have a look in my bag and see. Right, I bought, this was £2.30, and again it is a super chunky, but I thought I might just do a vest with that because I've only got 3 balls. But that will do a sleeveless vest instead of a waistcoat, a sleeveless vest. Nice colour because it's quite neutral. So that's that one. And then this one, which again was £2.38, which is a beautiful, beautiful. Let me bring it closer so you can see. Just a beautiful colour. So that's going to be, and that's, blues and teals and things are my favourite colour. I have blue eyes, and so I tend to wear a lot of blue and teal. So those are 3 more, in fact. So the pink, the grey and the teal will give me projects to work through now until probably the, well, March time, I would think. Well, when I'm out in the garden. I spend all of the summer out in the garden, so it's something to keep me occupied and busy, and nice things to do in the evening, which I love and enjoy. So what else have we got? What have we got this week? Let me tell you about my the videos that you're going to see this week. So Wednesday is going to be a Lidl and a Home Bargains haul. Again, we're not talking huge amounts when we say haul. It's just one of the buzzwords that people use. There's only one of me, so you're never going to see mountains and mountains and mountains of food, because I don't buy mountains of food. However, you will see the bits and pieces that I bought, and then you'll see them on the Foodie Friday, what I'm going to do with them over the next sort of few weeks. And also I'm looking down because I have got some notes, and also, as I said, Home Bargains. And they're going to be quite a few what they call dupes. Now, dupes are things that are similar to other products, but a fraction of the cost. And they're called dupes. Don't ask me why, I've no idea. But if you know, let me know. But I've no, or duplicates maybe, I don't know what they're called. But I'm going to show you some of those on Wednesday. So that should be quite fun, seeing things that are very similar. And I've been using some of them. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I've been using some of them, and they do last as long as the originals, but at a fraction of the cost. So quite interesting to see that one. And then on Friday is a very cheap and easy and economical supper dish. So dish for your tea, dish for your supper, dish for your dinner, whatever you call it. I call it tea at tea time, because, you know, rather than a cup of tea, it's having tea or supper in the evening. Some people call it dinner. I call lunchtime dinner. But again, it depends what part of the country you come from. So let me know what you call your midday meal, and what you call your evening meal, whether it's a dinner or a supper or a tea or a whatever. It's always interesting to hear, and I love your comments and things. Going on from that, when I was talking about the freezing cold weather, there was one of my subscribers is in Australia, and it's been the hottest year yet, and is over 40 degrees over there, so is very, very, very hot. And Tanya, one of my other subscribers who's been with me for almost since the beginning of my channel, a really great supporter, and she is over in California, but 40 miles away from the fires, thank goodness. But oh dear, it's just heartbreaking watching on the news the absolute devastation, and my heart goes out to everybody. If any of you are in that area, you know, I when I finish my videos, I always say, you know, stay safe. Life is so fragile, it really is, and it's so difficult. Awful, whether it's fires and heat, or whether it is cold and freezing. We've got at the moment, I was just watching the news this morning, and there's an amber warning for life, and what they call is old and vulnerable. Now, I don't class myself as being old, and I don't class myself as being vulnerable, because I don't think I am. I don't have any underlying medical conditions, thank goodness, and I always go touch wood. But there's an amber warning for health for what they call the elderly, and they class the elderly as anybody who is over 60, 65. So I'm in that bracket, not that I class myself as that, because I'm fit and healthy, thankfully. But danger to life for the cold, because people are you know, finding it very cold because it's been sub-zero for probably about a week. I mean, this morning, even this first thing this morning when I was taking the dog for a walk, it was freezing out there. You know, not as bad as it has been over the last week, but the ground was still frosty. So yes, I always class myself as being very blessed and very lucky, and I hope all of you out there are blessed and lucky too, which I hope you are. So I think that's probably about it for now. I don't like to keep them too long. I know some people do their vlogs for, you know, 45 minutes, an hour, and things like that. I think enough time for you to grab a cup of coffee, sit down, have a quick drink, and then that's it for me. Some of my craft videos are a bit longer, but that's only because it's a bit complicated. And for all of those saying, am I giving up crafting? No, absolutely not. I have over 1,000 videos all on craft. So I'm diversifying a little bit, because I like to do that for myself, and I like to do that for you, so you get to see a little bit more. But I am doing craft things. In fact, next week there will be a craft video. So, you know, stay tuned for that, and I'll tell you all about that next Monday. But I do try and do sort of some things a little bit in advance when I can do, because then that saves me panicking and trying to cram it all in one sort of hit. So, as always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.